Singapore comes up in second place. What is driving the Lion City up in the ranks?
Hi, good morning. Yes, we saw quite an interesting study done by PwC. They, unlike other studies which just measure the competitiveness of these major cities, PwC also looks at what they call the social and economic health of these cities. And Singapore scores really high on things like technological readiness, so mobile broadband speeds, internet access, for example. It also scores very high on transportation and other infrastructure, ease of doing business, and not to forget low taxes. Very few cities can beat Singapore when it comes to taxes. For example, the corporate tax rate here is 17%, and that compares with an average of about 23% for the whole of the OECD, and, for example, 35% corporate tax rate in the US. Those are the main factors that's pushed Singapore up.
Yeah, Nazreen, what happens in a post-Brexit world? Does Singapore then overtake London?
I think what the authors of the report have said is that this survey was done based on data that was collected before the Brexit vote, and I don't think that we can make the assumption that head offices are going to move out of London to Singapore. We had the Singapore central bank chief yesterday actually speaking about this very topic, and he made the point that companies set up the operations in places like Singapore and Hong Kong to take advantage of faster Asian growth, and that if on the margins you're going to see some movement out of London, it's going to be to the European capitals.
Well, right here in Hong Kong, as well as Sydney, they're sitting in 9th and 10th places. So what's holding them back from being higher in the ranks?
When it comes to Hong Kong, interestingly, it was rated lower on intellectual capital and innovation. So there, PwC is measuring things like, the number of people with higher education, the number of public libraries, for example, access to public libraries. On Sydney, I must admit it was a surprising result there on the livability section. It didn't score that high. So when it comes to things like entertainment venues and etc. Also, Sydney falls short when it comes to ease of doing business. So, and there it's mainly because of the restrictions on ease of access to the country for investors.